Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Hi guys, a very good afternoon to one and all. Once again, a very warm welcome to a session from BYJU'S Exam Prep. So friends, in this session, I'm going to talk about various MBA entrance exams that students can look at. Now, why are we doing this session? There is a reason why we are doing this session over here. It's not that you don't know what is CAT or what is that. But the thing we realized over the last so many years of training students is after the exams are over, students come to us and say, "Oh sir, was there an exam like this also? We did not know that such an exam existed." Or they'll come and say that, "Sir, I wanted to get into this XYZ college, but I did not write the exam for that college because I thought that this college also takes the exam that I wrote." So there are many reasons why students miss out on some important colleges, good colleges. So this session is basically aimed at making sure that you all know at least what are the various MBA entrance exams you can write. And again, this is not an exhaustive list. It is not a complete list. But yes, this covers some of the very known, well-known national level MBA entrance exams. So that is the purpose for this session. Okay. So which MBA exams should I target? But before we talk about which MBA entrance exam should you target, you need to ask yourself this. Is this the right question to ask? For example, by the way, good afternoon, Abhi, Vijay, Akhilesh, a very good afternoon to you all. Right, so is this the right question? Which MBA exam to write? Now think of it. Let us say you wake up one day in the morning, you want to go to some place. You go ahead and ask a person this question, which bus should I take? He will look at you like a madman. How do you know what bus you should take? I don't know where you want to go, right? So the first thing you need to understand is where do you want to go? Because the bus that you need to take depends on the destination that you want to go. Second, it's not also a bus. What if there is no bus to that place? What if there is a boat, right? So what if you have to go in a different way? So first identify the destination. The first thing that should come is your destination. Only then you will talk about how to reach there. And in the discussion about how to reach there, you will look at what is the best way. For example, if you want to go from, let's say, I'm from Hyderabad. So if you want to go from Hyderabad to Delhi, I can drive down for 2 days or 1.5 days. I can take a train, I can take a flight. Probably there's a bus also, I'm not sure. But yeah, there are multiple options. Now, depending upon my necessity, I will choose one of these options. So your choice about your career is also kind of similar. What if I take a bus journey and I can't take that bus journey for 1 day or 1.5 days? What if I think of driving down to my Delhi and I realize that I can't drive for 1.5 days? So you need to understand that exams that you're going to prepare. So all this is analogy that I'm giving you. So when you're talking about which exam to write, first you need to ask your question, what is the career that you want to get into? Okay, now career MBA, please don't say what is, I want to do an MBA. Now MBA is a very broad term. Unless you're a fresher who don't have too much of an idea, especially for people who are like 2 years experience, 3 years experience and above, you should have at least some idea. I'm not saying you should have perfectly that, okay, I want to get into marketing, in that also I want to get into digital marketing, in that digital marketing I want to get into this company. No, I'm not saying that level of understanding. But at least broadly you should understand, do you like, let's say, finance for that matter? Do you understand a little bit of accounts, a little bit of basics of finance, valuation and things like that? Do you understand numbers in the first place? Or are you a person who is a bit creative in nature, who likes to interact and talk to people, convince them, make them listen to your argument? Are you that kind of a person? Or are you a person who kind of wants to arrange things, make sure that things are smooth in happening, making sure that the timely doing of certain things are done, or you can deliver that kind of an objective. So you need to understand the kind of person that you are. Depending upon which you can decide whether you want to get into HR, you want to get into computers, that is systems, networks, you want to get into finance, whatever else it is. but at least have some idea. So the first question that you want to ask is, what do you want to do? Where do you see your career over a period of next 10 years or 15 years? Okay, do you want to see yourself working in a bank as whatever banking job, whatever job it is? I'm not saying you have to sit in a bank and do something like that, but I'm talking about any kind of bank, investment bank, retail bank, corporate banking, whatever it is. Is that the line you want to get into? Or do you see yourself making ads for companies? You know, some of the best ads that you've come across. Do you want to see yourself doing those kind of things? So have some clarity there, because there are your interests will basically tell you which colleges are good for it. Just in the analogy that I've given you, depending upon your destination, you will decide whether you want to take a flight, a bus, a train, or a car ride, or whatever else it is. That destination determines your way, your path. So if you know where your career should be, which line at least, I'm not saying decide exactly finance or not, at least say where it should not be. Let's say that you don't want to be in operations, you don't want to be in HR. At least some colleges which are known for this could probably not be there in your list. At least you'll focus on, okay, I don't love finance, I don't love marketing, but at least I know that these two are not for me. At least HR is not for me, operations is not for me. So I will consider those colleges which are good in marketing and finance. Then the next step would be, you will be getting into, okay, if I want to get into these colleges, firstly make a list of colleges which are good in this marketing and finance. And secondly, you will look at, okay, now where do these colleges take the admissions from? Which exams do I have to write? So all that happens secondary. Okay? Well, once again, a very good afternoon to all those of you who have joined a bit later. Samir, Sonali, and Rooster. Rooster keeps coming into all of my sessions. Good to see you, Rooster, and happy to see you too, Samir. Well, then a little bit of research if you don't know. Let's say you're not decided. You say that, sir, I don't know what to go, where to go, what to do. Doesn't matter, it's okay. Read a little bit about what is each one of these domains, what do they do. Talk to some people who are there. There's no hurry. I mean, you can, if not this year, you can do your MBA next year. That's okay. But make sure your decision is right. Understand where you're getting into. Okay? Best way to look at it is get into a discussion, conversation with somebody who's been in that domain post MBA for about 5-6 years. They will tell you at least what the domain is like, and don't ask them whether they like it or not, because their like is different from your like. What you should ask them is, what is the job that you do? Don't take any positive or negative they talk about their like or dislike for the job. Just listen to what kind of role do they play, what kind of job do they do on a daily basis. Then you decide, is this the role for me? Am I okay with it? You may not be okay, you might be okay, depending upon what kind of a person you are, but that's what you need to figure out. Okay? Well, now this is about normally. So some of you might say, I don't want to do an MBA right now. I want to do an MBA after 5-6 years of experience. So you go for a 1-year executive MBA. In such a case, again, this destination is different. Or somebody says that I want to do an MBA but not from India. I want to do an MBA from abroad. Like Karan is asking, Karan Guje is asking, MBA from USA. What about the jobs? Well, the scenario right now is a bit difficult. Even getting a job, in US especially, various issues that are that students are facing. But yes, you will ideally, if you are doing an MBA from a college like US, a college in US, at least the top colleges in US, you would be paying nothing less than 60-70 lakhs. Very bare minimum, you'll be paying 60-70 lakhs or probably up to 18-90 lakhs also, very easily. It's not even surprising. Okay, if that is the case, and you'll be paying that in dollars. So you have to get a job either in Europe, Singapore, or in US. You cannot get a job in India and earn the money in rupees, whereas your loan will be paid in dollars. So if you are going for an MBA abroad, make it a point that you get a job abroad and you earn the money also in dollars. Now, if you want to do that, there is a different exam for that. Now, you can't write any of the Indian exams because you want to get, into an MBA college abroad. So again, as I said, bottom line, please first decide what is it that you want to achieve and when. Is it right now at 2 years experience, or you don't mind, working for another 4-5 years and then go for a 1-year executive, or you want to work for 1 or 2 years and go for a 2-year MBA program abroad? There are many options available. That is what you need to think. Okay. Now, the correct approach, as I said, is the destination comes first. Destination is the career. When I'm talking about career, please don't say MBA is my career. In that also, try to understand which one or two areas interest you, which one or two areas you are disinterested in or you don't like. Okay. Then the second thing is the best mode of transport in my analogy, which means what are the colleges that can give me this career that I want? That is the second question or the second thing that you need to ask. Then you're looking at, okay, fine. If I know I want to get into this college or this 5 colleges, look at what exams these 5 colleges will accept. So it could be that all 5 are accepting the same exam, or it could be that different colleges are accepting different exams, based on which you will decide which of these entrance exams that you need to write. Okay. That's basically, as I said, list of exams, match your potential and plan your preparation accordingly. Now, matching of potential, you should also understand, are you really putting in the effort? When I say potential, I'm not really talking about your intelligence. Guys, I am a person who believes that anybody and everybody with enough hard work can crack any exam. When I say potential, it is not your mental ability I'm talking about. It is about your willpower. Many of us, and I'm saying many of us because I was also a student like that at one point in time, we have the ability to do certain things, but to do that, you have to put in a certain amount of effort every day consistently. Remember, all the people who are good in sports or whatever else the domain they are in, they don't become good overnight just like that. It comes through consistent hard work. Persistent, they're going to do that the same thing again and again and again till they perfect it. That is called willpower and consistency. Now, if you have that, if you can do that, then certain objectives can be attained. If you can't do that, you will settle for a lesser objective. So first, know yourself. So when I say potential here, it's very much not at all about your intelligence. What I'm talking about is, do you have the ability to spend 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes every day to reach a particular level? For example, one of the tough exams of all these MBA exams happens to be CAT, without doubt. Now, I'm not saying CAT is impossible, it's very difficult. Obviously, it is not. Hundreds and thousands of students crack it every year. But the point which I'm trying to make is to get a good score in CAT, if you put, let's say this is your graph, if you put this amount of effort, you probably will not be able to get into CAT, you'll probably be able to get into an exam X. If you put this, probably you'll be able to get into an exam called Y. If you put this, you'll probably be able to get into an exam called Z. If you put something over here, you'll probably be able to reach your CAT. And this is not intelligence, this is about the effort you're putting in. So understand how much effort can you put in, what kind of a person you are. Many students start their preparation in the first 1 month, they are very like gung-ho, yes, let's do it. 20 days, 25 days, they're like, oh man, let me push. Tomorrow I will not study, I'll take a day off. Then that tomorrow becomes day after tomorrow, and then that 2 days will become a week, a month, and then you'll say, okay, I can't prepare for CAT anymore. Let me go from CAT to my exam Z. Then you'll realize that Z is also not happening. Then you'll settle for your finally Y. So, it's not because you cannot do CAT. It's just that you did not put in the effort to go to CAT. That's the way I look at it. So understand yourself and choose your exams accordingly. Okay. So Abhi Chobe is asking, finance specialization mein job kaise milegi? So Abhishek is asking, Abhi is asking, how will you get finance specialization jobs? So Abhi, it's not just about finance, marketing, finance, HR, whatever specialization you do. Your college provides placements. Usually the good colleges, the top 30-40 colleges in the country, they take care of the students in terms of placements. So whatever specialization you do, you will get placed from the MBA campus itself. So one of the most important criteria for you before you choose a college is, if I get into this college, will there be campus placements and how many people get placed every year? That is a very important consideration for you. Anyway. Which college is best for operations in Pune? Aditya, I will be talking about some important colleges according to the exams. Just hold on for that. Samir is asking, MBA in IT is good. Also, can we get a job in consulting firm after MBA? Of course, Samir. A lot of students get into consulting after MBA. IT consulting, financial consulting, marketing consulting, operations or general consulting. Different types of consulting companies are there. Depending upon your prior experience, depending upon your subject scores, depending upon your interest, you can get into consulting without fail. But one thing you need to keep in mind, those of you who want to get into these two areas, consulting or finance. If you want to get into a consulting career or a finance career, without doubt, you have to be one of the top students academically in the college. I'm not saying your 10th and 12th scores. I'm talking about the grades you get in the 2-year MBA, at least the first year. If your grades are poor, my friends, the chances are very, very less for you to get into a consulting or a finance job. Because consulting and finance, understand, these are domains where you have to sit for hours together to solve a problem or to do a task. It requires patience, it requires understanding numbers. Now, why do they give importance to your score? Because if you are not patient enough, if you can't sit and read for hours together, obviously you will not get score. It's a direct way for them to understand, are you a student who has any amount of patience or not? Or you have to be extremely brilliant, that you read for 2 minutes and you understood everything. That's another way. Then that's fine. But usually the hardworking people, these are the subjects where if you are smart, you can do it very quickly, that's fine. Otherwise, you can still become a topper, but that kind of people who are spending a lot of time and effort means you are having a lot of patience and you still have the ability to understand what you read. So that is the reason why these two areas, if you want to get into it, your scores have to be really, really good. Okay? Karan is asking, India में abroad MBA करने के बाद abroad में jobs chances है क्या? Okay, Karan, to be very honest, even in the top colleges, I'm talking about, you leave out one college called ISB in India, leave this out. Every other college, including IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Calcutta, they have less than 10% placements abroad. Less than 10%. It's like 6%, 7% placements. So yes, to answer your question, can you get a job abroad by doing an MBA in India? The answer is yes. But is it easy? The answer is no. Because even in the top best colleges like XLRI, SP Jain, almost all the IIMs, not more than 6-7% of the students go abroad. Not more than 6-7% of the students go abroad. That too, you have to be lucky to get into the campuses placing you abroad. So that's the logic. Okay? Let's move on. So these are some of the top MBA entrance exams. Now I've given, if you notice, okay, GMAT is given twice, that's okay. It's basically, GMAT I wanted to put it separately, it came up twice. So GMAT is given separately over here. The reason is quite simple. All other colleges that I'm talking about, all these colleges basically give you an option for various colleges in India to do an MBA. Whereas GMAT also gives you MBA options in India, but GMAT primarily is an exam written to get into the colleges outside India, abroad. Okay, so it's a little bit different from your other exams. So let's take very briefly. I'm not going to get into too much of depth. I'm just going to give 1 minute 30-40 seconds about each one of this. So the session is not very long here. I'm going to talk about each one of these exams very briefly and tell you how many students write, what are the colleges that get into, and who should be considering about these kind of exams. So take a look at it. First exam, of course, the topmost exam as far as an MBA is concerned, of course, happens to be CAT. There's no doubt that the maximum number of students writing for an MBA is for this particular exam called CAT. Almost 2 lakh people write. In fact, 2.3, 2.4 lakh people apply. 1.9 lakh to 2 lakh people write the exam. No other MBA entrance exam in India is taken by so many people. So there's no doubt in my saying that CAT happens to be the biggest of the exam. Okay, it's the only way in which you can get entry into some of the in fact all of the IIMs. There is no IIM that you can get entry into for their, remember, flagship 2-year program, 2-year MBA program. Of course, all these IIMs and all the colleges that I mentioned here also have a 1-year executive program. Now this executive program, if you want to get into, this typically is for people with 5+ years of experience, work experience. So 5 years, 6 years and all, if you have work experience, you could not do an MBA when you are working earlier for whatever reason. could be financial, could be personal, whatever it is. If you could not do an MBA, but after 5-6 years of work experience, you can do a 1-year MBA. It is called a 1-year executive MBA. To get into this program, typically you write GMAT. Whereas for the 2-year MBA program, which is their main program, you write your CAT exam for all of these colleges. Now, there are almost about 160, 170 colleges, if I remember it correctly, who accept your CAT score. Out of which almost all the IIMs, not almost, all the IIMs accept CAT. There's no doubt about it. All the IITs, IIT Delhi, Bombay, Kharagpur, Kanpur, all the IITs, Madras accept your, your scores of your CAT exam. Apart from these, these are government-related colleges, but you have certain private colleges. FMS again is a government college, but FMS happens to be in the top 5 without a shred of doubt. In my opinion, if you get into an FMS, it's as good as getting into any of the IIMs. Apart from that, you have SPJN, MDI, NITI. One of you was asking what is a good college. One of the best colleges for operations is NITI. I'm not saying others are bad. Of course, I am Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Indore, Lucknow, Kozhikode, all of them are good in each one of their domains like marketing, finance. It's not that each college is known for only one subject. They are good in all of these. They teach good finance, they teach good marketing, they teach good operations, but NITI is known for operations. That's how they became famous. It's not that marketing is bad there, but yes, somebody who's interested in operations will definitely say that, okay, NITI should be in my consideration. Similarly, somebody who is really interested in finance should definitely say that, okay, Calcutta is one of my options, or should be one of my options. I should, aim for it. Does it mean that Ahmedabad is inferior? Of course not. Ahmedabad has some of the world-class faculty, some of the best students, and of course some of the really good finance courses. But I'm just saying that each person or each college has created an aura about itself, and they are known for certain things, so it's like this. Let me put it this way. Calcutta finance, they are known for finance, is what they say. At least they don't say, but people talk about it. So it does not mean that marketing, they don't have a career there. They have excellent companies going there for marketing. But yes, if I am considering to get into a financial career or a career in finance, definitely the top college, one of the top colleges for me will be my IIM Calcutta. Right? So that's how it's going to be. Right. Yes, Sonali, GMAT is abroad aspirants who want to do MBA from India. Not really, Sonali. Yes, if somebody from outside want to come into India, you can write GMAT and get into the 2-year program. But I don't think even 1% of the batch is like that. I don't think in the IIMs today or even in the other colleges, people would want, or not even 1%. 1% means in a batch of 400, I don't think even 3 to 4 foreigners you'll be finding taking the GMAT exam and coming and sitting in India and doing their MBA. It's not going to happen that way. Okay. Karan is asking, IIM government fees kitni lagti hai? Karan, different IIMs have different fees, but it can range anywhere between 11 lakhs to 23 lakhs. That is a range. Okay, it can range anywhere. So if you look at IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, they are in the range of 23. If you're looking at the new IIMs like Visakhapatnam and things like that, they are in the range of about 10, 11 lakhs or 12 lakhs. So depending upon the IIM itself, the fees will change. In fact, one interesting fact for many of you, I don't know if you know, one of the cheapest colleges and the world-class placements happens to be in FMS. FMS, I don't know how many of you will believe me when I say this, their entire course fee will be over in about 80,000. I'm not even talking about 1 lakh, 80,000. I think they have upped their fee, so it's 80,000 right now. Earlier it used to be 20,000, 20,000, 2 years, 40,000 over. Now I think they made it 40, and it is 80. Even if it is not 80, even if it is 1 lakh, compared to what you are paying in the IIMs and compared to what you will be paying in FMS, you just can't compare actually. Okay, you can literally say it's free. Right? So that's how it is. That's the reason why FMS is quite famous too. But anyway, I'm saying that there are enough good colleges for you through CAT if you want to get into, and CAT happens to be, of course, that is the reason why CAT is the mother of all the MBA entrance exams. Not really, Sonali. That way, even IIMs are established by the government, IITs are established by the government, but you don't see that low pricing in IIMs. One of the reasons for FMS is FMS does not charge the student for the campus infrastructure because it does not have a huge campus. That's one of the reasons only. But of course, it is subsidized education. Whereas if you look at the IIMs, they have a huge campus by the government, but still they charge you a lot because they have stopped getting government grants. There was a time where the government used to fund these educational institutions, and then at that point, the government used to give them like crores of rupees saying that, okay, don't charge the students. So they used to keep the fees very low. Over the last 8, 10, 15 years, I believe, the government has stopped funding these colleges, saying that, look, you are a management institute. If you can't fund yourself, what management are you teaching? Okay, I'm just joking, but basically the logic is, look, fund for yourself. We are not going to give you money anymore. So once they did that, the MBA colleges hiked up the fees. In fact, when I did my MBA, it was something around 11 lakhs. Today, the same college is charging about 18, 19 lakhs, if I'm not mistaken, or 20 lakhs. I don't know exactly how much is it. But yeah, so that's the whole idea. So they have jacked up the prices a lot. Okay. Right, Karan is asking, IIM scholarship milti hai kya? Karan, IIM scholarship depends on two areas. One is you are from an economically weaker area, which means you have to provide the documentation for your family income. Yes, there are certain scholarships. The second way in which you can get a scholarship is academically you are the best. So usually the scholarship is given to people who perform really good in academics or have a stellar academic record. So different IIMs have different policies regarding it. But again, not more than 5-6% of the students get scholarships. The scholarship percentage is very less. Once you get the scholarship, you will get good money. But the students who get that, it's very less, and there's a huge amount of competition for scholarship. Okay. Let's move on. The next best exam happens to be a XAT. It's almost written by about 1 lakh people. This is the second biggest exam, actually the third. The second biggest exam happens to be CMAT, but we'll MAHCET, sorry. So we'll get into that. But yes, XAT is given by a lot of students. A lot of colleges accept the XAT score. It is the only way to enter into your Xavier's colleges, especially the XLRI. The only way to get into your XLRI 2-year program. XLRI happens to be in the top 5 colleges without a shadow of doubt. This college takes their students only through XAT. Apart from that, again, if you notice, SP Jain was there in CAT also, it is there here also. So basically, SP Jain says you can apply to my college using CAT score or XAT score, I don't mind. Right? And there are other colleges. There are many other colleges. As I mentioned, I'm not putting in the entire list. The purpose of this session is not to give you what all colleges are there. The purpose is to tell you that first of all, these exams exist. Learn about these exams, read about these exams, then you decide whether you want to write these exams or not. Okay. The next is IIFT. It's an exam conducted by a single college called IIFT, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. Basically, it's what do you call that? A college which is in Delhi, and it has campuses in 2 other places: Delhi, Kolkata, and it is in Kakinada. So there are 3 campuses for it. Definitely in my top 10, top 12 list for sure. It's a college that people dream to get into. Usually written by about 40 to 45,000 students every year. Its exam is conducted in the month of November or December, usually every year. But yes, there's only one college that takes this exam, and that is the college called IIFT itself. So if you are very particular about that college, you can write this, or rather you should write this exam. Definitely, if you are serious about MBA, it would be in my top 3-4 exams that you can write. Moving on. The next exam happens to be NMAT. Like IIFT, NMAT is conducted for one of the big colleges called NMIMS. It's Nasi Munji College in in Bombay. It's there in Bombay, it's there in Hyderabad, it's there in Bangalore. I think it's there in a couple of other locations also, but the Bombay campus is the most famous for NMIMS. It's definitely going to be there in my top 16-17 list of B schools in the country. Very well-renowned college, especially because of the place that is in. It's in one of the very posh areas in Bombay. it is almost facing the beach side of Bombay. I've been in Bombay for about 4 years, I believe. Lovely place it's situated in. In fact, it's very difficult to get even an apartment in that area. And if you get into this college, you're going to stay there for 2 years. So, well, think about it. You have about 45,000 people who write this NMAT. But this is a college which, again, this NMAT is not just for NMIMS. NMIMS is the reason why this exam happens. But this again is used by other colleges also, just like I mentioned. Okay, so if you notice, XAT is taken by other 2-3 other colleges. Similarly, your CAT is taken by not 2-3, sorry. XAT is also taken by about 120 or so colleges. Similarly, your CAT is also taken by 160-170 colleges. Similarly, NMAT is also taken by a lot of colleges. And that's an exam that you should consider if you want to get into NMIMS Bombay. SNAP is an exam conducted by Symbiosis. It's basically an entrance point for all the Symbiosis colleges, the top ones being SIBM Pune, SCMHRD and SIIB. Again, these are really good colleges, and the number of students who write SNAP is about 60,000. So it's almost 1.5 times the number of students who write NMAT. And SNAP happens usually in the month of January every year. So this year exam is over. Next year the exam, this year meaning for the academic year 23-25, the exam will be happening in the January of 2023. So that's again an exam you should note down and take an interest in if you're looking at MBA seriously. Then we have a very interesting exam called TISSNET. TISSNET is an entrance exam for a college called TISS. So it's Tata Institute of Social Sciences. It's a very well-renowned college, especially for 2 areas. One is economics and HR. Right, they are very well known for these 2 areas. So those of you who are from the economics background and want to develop a career in economics, they give out their degree. It's not an MBA that you get from TISS college. You get an MA in HR and MA in economics. They have operations also, I believe. But they are very well known for these. I mean, there are a lot of students who are particular about this college. They go into it. It goes without saying that if you're looking at economics or HR, this particular college definitely will be in the top 3-4 in the country. If you're looking at an overall rating, probably it will not be in the top 10. But if you're looking at specifically economics and HR, definitely it's going to be in the top 3 in the country. It's as good as an Ahmedabad or a Bangalore or a Calcutta or any other college for that matter when it comes to comparison in economics and HR. Okay. When do these exams happen, Sonali? I'm having separate sessions. In fact, I have already conducted sessions on NMAT. I have conducted a session on IIFT. So we are taking up individual. So this session is putting all exams that you can consider. Apart from that, I am taking up individual sessions where I'm going to talk about half an hour about each exam. So you can talk about NMAT. I already given idea about what happens in an NMAT exam, when is it conducted. I've also similarly done the same thing for IIFT. I'm doing one for SNAP. I think it's happening on Monday or Tuesday. So keep subscribe to our channel, keep following us, and you'll be getting notification about all these events or all these sessions that I'm taking. Okay. Okay, Sonali, Kolkata. Okay, which college are you talking about? Karan, which college are you asking about? I lost track. Okay, let me move on by the time they answer. So that's TISSNET. Again, around 30,000 students write it. Very specific students who want to get into these domains, they do end up writing it. The next exam is again an exam called MICAT. Again, I don't know how many of you heard of it. It's the only way you get into a college called MICA. If you want to see your career in marketing, especially in advertisement, then MICA is the #1 college when it comes to advertisements and marketing in our country. Again, in overall rating, they might not be in the top 10, but when it comes to a specific domain, I don't think there's anybody who can do it better than MICA. So it's very specific, people who are very, very specific about this domain that I want to get into, definitely MICA is in their list. There's no doubt about it. Across the industry, people know that a student from MICA in marketing or advertisement field basically are, the gems of the other students available out there. They are given that kind of a value. So that's an exam. So MICA entrance exam is through MICAT, but it's not just MICAT. So you have to write your CAT exam. Based on the CAT marks, they will tell you whether you are eligible to write MICAT or not. If you are eligible to write MICAT, then you will be going for their GDPI round. So it's an extra process. So normally what happens, you write one entrance exam, and then if you get good score, you'll go for your GD and PI. But this time for MICAT, you first write one of the other entrance exams like CAT or XAT, whatever entrance exams you're considering. Then if you get a sufficient score there, you will be writing your MICAT. If you get a sufficient score there, then you'll be getting into your other process. So we're going to do an entire session on MICAT. I don't want to get too much into it because this is not just one exam. There are 2 exams in this also. So I don't want to get into all of that. But the point right now being, yes, right now it is MICAT. There's an exam, there is a separate process, and there's a college called MICA you can consider if you want to get really into building a career in marketing. Okay. NMAT, okay, fine, Sonali. MICAT is tougher than CAT. Okay, Sonali, I didn't want to get into the exam per se, but you asked me a question. Let me very clearly, quickly answer this. MICAT, you can't compare it to CAT because MICAT is a different animal altogether. It's not about aptitude anymore. MICAT exam tests a lot of things. Yes, a little bit of aptitude. So as I said, there are two things that happen in MICAT. One is the checking of aptitude again, but there is something called as your ability to create. So they have a different kind of a subjective exam also, where you will be asked to, let me give you one example to tell you how this exam is slightly different. They will give you about 4 images, image 1, 2, 3 and 4. And each of these 4 images will be something different. You could see that there's a building in one, there is a lion in something. They'll give you 4 images. And they'll say, write a 400-word essay connecting all these 4. So you have to write a story connecting these 4 images. So there are different parts of MICAT. Yes, there is an aptitude part where they check your English, maths, that will be done, but more importantly, they are looking at the subjective part also, where you will be required to show your creative skills. So it's a different exam. So I will not say, is it difficult than CAT or not, because I can't compare it, frankly. Right, Sonali? Let's move on. The next exam is called CMAT. It's conducted by National Testing Agency, NTA. Around 50,000 students write this exam. It is accepted by some of these colleges like Great Lakes, Goa Institute of Management, KJ Somaya, BIMTech. Many of these are the colleges that I mentioned. In fact, there are a lot of other colleges that accept it. Obviously, I don't have space and time to talk about all the colleges. So I'm just giving you a reference. You should, as a part of your homework, not that I'm giving you a homework, but yes, if you're interested, you should spend about 15-20 minutes reading about each one of these exams once this session is done. MICT will come at the end. Aditya, it is there. I haven't forgotten. The next exam is MAT. It is conducted by AIMA. It is written by around 20,000 people. The people who write this is not that many. Again, the colleges that accept are IMT Nagpur, ISBM Pune. You have BIMTech Noida. So again, very specific colleges. Depending upon whether a particular college is in your target group or not, you will decide whether to write this MAT. I will not say MAT and CMAT is a must for everyone. Now again, these are the exams that you should write based on what colleges do you want to get into this exam. It's not just that an exam exists, you go and write. So take a look at it. If you get into Great Lakes, do you want to join? If yes, please write it. If you get into Goa Institute of Management, or if you get into KG Somaya, is it a target college? If it is a target college, you've been dreaming about it, please go ahead and write the exam. So that's what I meant at the beginning. Understand your dream, then talk about which exam. Then the next exam is called ATMA. It's not the soul that I'm talking about. It's ATMA. Again, written by around 20,000 people on an yearly basis. So you have IMS Ghaziabad, FIIB and IRMA being some of the colleges that accept this ATMA score. Again, as I said, read about it, read about the exams. I don't have entire time over here to talk about all the exams in detail. So I'm just giving you a brief idea, as I said, 30-40 seconds about each of these exams so that you can do an extra bit of research. At least you should not say that, sir, I never heard of this exam. I'm making sure that almost all the big exams are mentioned over here. Okay. Then the next, in fact, the second largest exam in terms of the number of students who write happens to be MAHCT. Almost 1.5 lakh or 1.3 lakh students write this exam. CAT, about 2 lakh people write. MAHCT is the second largest in terms of the number of students who write it. In fact, this year MAHCT got postponed, to by a long time. I think this is happening in the month of July or August. I'm not sure. I think it's next month or the month after that. I don't remember it exactly. But yes, MAHCT happens to be a big thing when it comes to an MBA because a lot of students write it. In fact, one of the top 10-12 colleges without doubt for me is JBIMS, Jamnalal Bajaj, is a college in Bombay. It's extremely difficult to get into this college through CAT, but if you want to have a reasonable chance at this college, you will end up writing your MAHCT. Okay, it's August, Samir? Yeah, I'm writing the exam, of course, to do the analysis, but yeah. So I'll make sure that I do the analysis for MAHCT anyway, but it was supposed to happen in June or May, I guess. It got postponed. So I have been taking a lot of MAHCT sessions also for you. I don't know if you have been following those sessions. Anyway, so let's let's continue this. So JBIMS is not just the best college for MHCET. It is also one of the top 10 colleges in the country. But apart from that, you have other colleges like SIMSTRI, which is Sydenham, KG Somaiya, Wellinkar and Dalmia. So these are again not just these, there are a lot of other colleges, but these being the top names that I can think of. Okay. Last of August is what Karan is saying. The date is not yet out, I believe. Yes, so that's, I hope Aditya, I have spoken about MHCT, this information, at least right now, this is the basic information I'm giving you. But yes, a lot of information has been given for MHCT in other of my sessions, in a lot of other sessions of mine. Okay. Then the last exam I'm going to talk about is GMAT. As somebody rightly said, there are two purposes that students write. You can look at getting into one-year program. Any of the one-year programs in India for executive is basically you write GMAT. Or if you want to get into ISB, Indian School of Business, one of the, again, very, very good colleges. But you can't compare it to the other IIMs because this college gives you only one-year course, whereas all the IIMs give a two-year program. So a one-year program given by ISB, it's a very, very good course. But students who want to get into ISB, there's only one option. You have to write your GMAT. Or if you want to go abroad, do an MBA from any of the colleges abroad, students end up writing this particular exam called GMAT. If not that, if a student is abroad, which is very, very rare, you don't see even 3-4 students like that in any of the campuses. But yes, once in a while it does happen that somebody outside the country wants to come into the country and do their MBA. So they write GMAT and they apply to the MBA colleges in India. And that is another way or another reason why this particular exam is written. And the other colleges which accept the score is, apart from ISB, is Great Lakes, once again, all IIMs and other private colleges for their executive program. Okay. Wellinkar, good for MHCT. Samir Sheikh, Wellinkar is a good college in Bombay. There's no doubt about it. But it's always a question of what other options you have. Guys, I will never say some college is good or bad. Please remember that. So if you ask me, is something a good college? I will always say, yes, it is good. You should always ask me a comparison. Wellinkar versus something. Right? If I ask, I mean, it's never directly black and white. It's always something is better than the other. If you ask me, is Ahmedabad better? The answer could be no if you have a Harvard degree in your hand. Or, sorry, not degree, Harvard option in your hand. If you ask me, is some XYZ college bad? I would probably say no compared to other options that you have, which is nothing. So it's always a relative comparison. So please keep that in mind. So is Wellinkar a good college in MHCT? Yes, of course it is a good college. But it also matters what is your aspiration, where do you want to go, and can you do better than that? Anyway, so that brings us, yes, KG Somaiya, I think accepts CET score also, Samir. So these are some of the top MBA entrance exams that I could put together in this PPT. So I hope I have mentioned quite a few of these entrance exams which would at least throw some light into your preparation. So we also have CAT programs starting on a regular basis. You can always contact us on this particular number over here if you're interested. A lot of faculty like me and my colleagues will come and train you for your CAT program. But anyway, I hope this session has been interesting to you. I hope if you've learned something or at least something new. So guys, please give us a like as well as subscribe to our channel. I'll keep coming back to you with a lot more information on similar, in kind of similar sessions over here. See you in the next one. Thank you and all the best in your preparation.